We live in a world of constant excess, excess information, excess material, excess emotion. We are endlessly reaching, grasping, and consuming, believing that more will lead us to happiness, fulfillment, and inner peace. But what if the truth is far simpler than we dare to accept? What if the answer lies not in accumulation, but in subtraction? The Stoics, those ancient seekers of wisdom, knew this well. They understood that it is not through adding to our lives that we find serenity, but through stripping away. They embraced minimalism, not as a mere lifestyle choice, but as a profound philosophical commitment. Minimalism for the Stoics was a path to freedom, to mastery over the self, and ultimately to the one thing we all seek yet rarely find, a life that is full in its essence, not in its distractions. Part 1: The Philosophy of Less. At the heart of Stoicism lies the principle of apatheia, freedom from destructive emotions. The Stoics saw that our attachments, both to external things and to our internal passions, enslave us. When we chase after wealth, status, or pleasure, we bind ourselves to those things. The more we possess, the more we are possessed. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control, wrote the Stoic teacher Epictetus. This was not mere rhetoric. The Stoics believed deeply that our external circumstances, our possessions, our achievements, even our bodies, are indifferent to our true well-being. What matters is how we respond to those circumstances. Our true power lies within, in our ability to control our thoughts, desires, and reactions. And when we learn to strip away all that is unnecessary, all that does not serve this inner mastery, we uncover a hidden strength, a deeper peace. This is the essence of Stoic minimalism. It is not about deprivation, but liberation. When we free ourselves from the need for more, we reclaim the freedom to be more virtuous, more disciplined, more at peace with ourselves and the world. Part 2: Embracing Voluntary Discomfort. One of the most powerful Stoic practices is the intentional embrace of discomfort. This may seem counterintuitive in a world that urges us to avoid pain and pursue comfort at all costs. But the Stoics knew that true strength, true contentment, cannot be built in ease. It is in discomfort, in adversity, that we find the raw material for growth. Seneca, one of the most prominent Stoic philosophers, regularly practiced voluntary poverty. He would set aside his wealth and live for days with minimal food, clothing, and shelter. He did this not because he was forced to, but because he wanted to remind himself that happiness does not depend on material conditions. Set aside a certain number of days, he advised, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, "Is this the condition that I feared?" Through this practice, Seneca developed a resilience to both deprivation and abundance. When we deliberately expose ourselves to discomfort, we not only prepare ourselves to face life's inevitable hardships, but we also strip away the illusion that comfort equals happiness. The Stoic approach to minimalism goes beyond physical possessions; it touches our very relationship to desire itself. Part 3: The Inner Riches. The Stoics were not concerned with accumulating wealth, but with cultivating inner riches. They understood that our happiness and well-being are not dictated by what we own, but by who we are. True wealth, they believed, comes from virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. These are the qualities that lead to a life of fulfillment, regardless of external circumstances. As Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, wrote in his Meditations, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." This insight strikes at the core of Stoic minimalism. It is not that the Stoics rejected wealth or success outright, but they saw these things for what they truly are: external, impermanent, and ultimately irrelevant to our inner well-being. What matters is not what we have, but how we use it. And the less we need, the more power we have over our own minds and lives. For the Stoics, minimalism was not about living with less just for the sake of it. It was about creating space for what truly matters. When we remove the distractions and excesses that clutter our lives, we can focus more deeply on developing our character, on cultivating the virtues that lead to a flourishing life. Part 4: Detachment from Outcomes. Another key aspect of Stoic minimalism is the practice of detachment from outcomes. This does not mean apathy or indifference; rather, it means recognizing that while we can control our actions, we cannot control the results. The Stoics urged us to focus on what is within our power, our thoughts, our decisions, our efforts, and to let go of the rest. As Epictetus put it, make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. This is the essence of the Stoic mindset. By detaching ourselves from the need for specific outcomes, we free ourselves from the anxiety and frustration that so often accompany our desires. We learn to accept life as it comes, with all its unpredictability and imperfection, and to find contentment in the present moment. This detachment is another form of minimalism, a minimalism of the mind. We let go of the mental clutter, the incessant worry and craving for more, and instead cultivate a calm and focused awareness of what we can control. This mental clarity allows us to face life's challenges with equanimity, to respond to adversity with grace, and to find peace in the midst of chaos. Part 5: The Art of Letting Go. Minimalism, for the Stoics, was ultimately about letting go, not just of physical possessions, but of all the attachments that weigh us down. We cling to our possessions, our relationships, our achievements, and even our identities, believing that they define us. But the Stoics knew that true freedom comes from recognizing that we are not defined by what we have or what we do. We are defined by how we choose to live, moment by moment. As the great Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This is the ultimate lesson of Stoic minimalism. It is not about rejecting the world or withdrawing from life, but about engaging with the world in a way that is free from attachment and expectation. It is about learning to let go of what we cannot control, and in doing so, discovering a deeper sense of peace and purpose. The art of letting go is not easy. It requires discipline, self-awareness, and a willingness to confront the uncomfortable truths about ourselves and the world. But it is through this process of letting go that we find the freedom to live fully, to embrace life's impermanence without fear, and to discover the true richness of a life lived with intention and clarity. Conclusion: the fullness of less. The Stoics embraced minimalism not as a rejection of life, but as a path to living more fully. They understood that the more we let go of our possessions, our desires, our attachments, the more space we create for what truly matters: inner strength, virtue, and peace of mind. In a world that constantly tells us we need more to be happy, the Stoic message is a radical one. It challenges us to look within, to strip away the excesses that cloud our judgment and distract us from our true purpose. It invites us to cultivate a life of simplicity, not for its own sake, but as a means to greater freedom, greater clarity, and greater fulfillment. "The wise man is content with what he has," wrote Seneca, "no matter how little it is, knowing that it is enough for him to live a happy life." This is the essence of Stoic minimalism. It is not about having less, but about needing less. It is about finding the fullness that comes from living with intention, with virtue, and with a deep understanding that true happiness is not something that can be acquired, but something that is cultivated from within. As we walk the path of Stoicism, we come to see that the things we once thought were essential, wealth, status, possessions, are merely distractions from the deeper, more lasting sources of fulfillment. By embracing minimalism, we free ourselves from the tyranny of desire and open ourselves to the richness of a life lived in harmony with nature, with reason, and with ourselves. In the end, it is not the quantity of what we have that matters, but the quality of how we live. And in that simplicity, we find the fullness we have been searching for all along. Final thought. We are not bound by what the world offers. We are bound only by what we choose to pursue, by the desires we let consume us. The Stoics invite us to choose differently, to choose less, and in that choice, to find more.